When you say nation, you talk about land. Our land is Africa. That's undeniable. This land is not our land.
That what Frantz Fanon's theory, psychological theory, is that we're in a post-colonial psychology. And what he calls that is an auto-destructional stage, which is the oppressor will oppress for so long that the oppressed no longer have to be physically oppressed. They do it to themselves automatically.
I'm black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me? I was born black, I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
Hey man, it's like this, man. It's like, you know, it's like it's revolution time, man. There's no questions asked. Revolution is here. You know what I'm saying? We the youth, we the young. It's time for us to break loose, you know? We don't have no freedom, no rights, man. We slaves right now. Everybody's still a slave. That's what they told us today. In other words, you still a slave. No matter how much money you got, you still ain't shit. So, you know, it's on, just like that. Just like
are really ready and willing to pay the price that is necessary for freedom. Our people will always be walking around here second-class citizens, or what you call 20th century slaves.
What price are you talking about, sir?
The price of freedom is death.
What's the figure?
I mean, what are you in this for? You want power, you want revenge, you know? What is it?
It's simple, Willie. I just want to be free.
Uhuru, welcome to Uhuru Mindset. It's Ikemba, Feist, and Christine. This is Revolutionary Conversations for Revolutionary Times. This show is brought to you by the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, or MPDM for short. I want to acknowledge our president, Columbayi Antoinette, who is currently running for alderperson of Ward 3 in St. Louis, as well as the founder and the leader of the Uhuru Movement, Chairman Amali Yeshitela. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili and is the conceptual basis for which we organize and develop African or Black-controlled institutions, in addition to resisting the colonial system that has been designed to subject us to a perpetual state of subjugation. Uhuru Mindset is meant to raise our consciousness to our identity and function of colonialism in our daily lives, in ways that we can transcend systems of oppression and exploitation. Our show will consist of interviews with ordinary people from our community to discuss past and present ways colonialism affected them and their community and what we can do to transform our conditions. Colonialism is a system in which one group directly or indirectly controls the politics and economics of another group. This has traditionally been done by settlement from the colonizer. Today, colonialism can be exercised through indirect rule or neo-colonialism. We plan to bring dynamic and stimulating discussions to our viewers and represent an alternative to culture vultures and opportunists who have no intention on bringing practical solutions to our problems. This show is for the African or Black working class and poor. This show represents your interests and will tell your story. Uhuru, welcome to another episode of Uhuru Mindset. I am here with Fawcett, Feist, Whisper and Win, and Empress Livewire. My name is Ikemba from the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, and Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. This show right here, Uhuru Mindset, is brought to you to decolonize the mind. That is the purpose of Uhuru Mindset. Under this institution, the system that we're currently under, a system that was built on colonialism, built on slavery, one of the methods that was used to keep our people in a perpetual state of subjugation was to colonize the mind of African people. So when we say Uhuru Mindset, Uhuru means freedom, and it's a particular mindset that we want to develop in order to decolonize our minds in the struggle for freedom, in the struggle for liberation, and to be a self-determined people. The understanding that this system is designed to exclude African people is what we have. And so in our fight, we're not fighting for inclusion. We're fighting for power. And so that's something that's need to be seriously understood by African people, by Black people. It's not I remember hearing Malcolm X in a speech, and he said, who is the white man to be equal to? You know, like, and I feel like as African people, this is how we have to think. Like, why are we fighting to integrate into a society? If anything, we need to build an alternative, and they should be fighting to integrate within something that we built. And so this is the type of mindset that we want to create amongst African Black people wherever we are. And so I want to give acknowledgement, though, to Columbaye Antoinette, President Columbaye, the president of our organization, who's currently running for alderperson in St. Louis, 3rd Ward. The election is April the 6th, and we just want to encourage people to support Columbaye Antoinette in her run to be alderperson. Also, I want to acknowledge Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who's the chairman of the Uhuru movement, chairman of the African Revolution, who brought us the theory of African internationalism. And this is a particular theory that we use to develop institutions to guide our practice. And so Uhuru mindset is the brainchild of the theory of African internationalism. There wouldn't be a Uhuru mindset without that theory. And so when we have these discussions, this is a particular theory that we bring into these discussions to try to examine and analyze whatever problems we have and to come up with practical solutions. So I appreciate everybody being on today and joining us in this discussion, and looking forward to our guest, Uhuru. Give me a thumbs up if it sounds.
Here is a story told to the children of Africa.
From the root, beginning of time, from the birth, from the first. If you wanna hear the truth, my motherland, you carried old life in your hand. On the other hand, we tryna kill you. Remember in my youth, they told me my skin was a curse from the earth, and they took me for a fool. But under my review, I'm melanin, still run the earth and the universe covered in two. We talking about you, black skin, black kin, black God, black love, black kids, black heart. Black and then they and then black start. If you're tired of hearing black, here's another black part. They try to wipe away all my black thoughts and cover up on my black past. Blow the nose of the barrel just cause they don't wanna let me see up on the glory of God. Nah. They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us black is beauty. They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us. They never told us that black is beautiful. Yeah, black conscious, understand the plight of my people. Now we looking way past ego. Another generation march on the steps to feel legal, just so they can kill another hero. Sounds so feeble to fight for the rights that you know, the land that you own, for the right that you own, just to push back to the life that you know. Right back fighting for the rights of us, all me and my people. Came from the land of the blacks, kingdoms and nations. In fact, you studied old black, your knowledge of the science and spirits and chemistry, numbers and math. We manage all that, the knowledge of aerodynamics and pyramids, building all that. A matter of fact, inventions, you see, trust me, that they all forget to mention they black. What credit is that? You cover up my greatness on purpose. My future path, they.
Ooh, family, peace and love. Thank you everyone for attending. Thank you all the attendees. If you hear my baby in the background, she's in unison. She unites everything that we're saying, and she's excited for Uhuru mindset as well. We really give thanks for everyone for attending the live recording. It really wouldn't be the same without you. Even though it's digital, we really feel your energy, and it's dope. That was an amazing musical selection. Give thanks to Prez. Give thanks to Usset for the recommendation. That was dope. They never told us black is beautiful, but you know, we could tell ourselves, and we know that it's fact, right? So I just want to introduce the topic: decontrolling the images of black women in the media. We felt that was very important to talk about this topic in honor of Women's Month. You know, we definitely want to talk about the importance of us having control of the narrative, of our own narrative. As black women, we experience the world as black women, so we don't need the white man, the white woman, or sometimes you don't even need the black man to speak about that experience, because no one knows it as good as we do. And that's just basic logic. It's just basic. We have the empirical data because we live this and we does this, right? So I don't want to take too long, and because I could talk about this for hours. I want to introduce our amazing, the beautiful, the amazing, the powerful Andrea. She is the host and the founder of Philly Unfiltered. She has a nonprofit organization. She is doing so much work in Philly. She is a wife. She is a mother. She wears many, many hats, as many, many Black women do. And we are so honored and we are so happy to have her. Andrea, you can unmute, sis. Hi. And say hi to the people. They're here for you.
Everybody.
We are
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, Caribou. Caribou means welcome in Swahili. So we are so happy to have you. We give thanks for you being here. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. That's the saying, right? So we just want to open up by first you telling us and telling the people, tell everyone, tell the world a little bit about yourself.
Well, like she said, I have so many things. My name is Andrea Harrison. I am the co-founder of a live podcast called Philly Unfiltered, the untold stories of the 215. That's where we give the information that the news don't give you. Our saying, we are unapologetically opinionated, meaning I will never apologize for my opinion. It's mine, but I'll never use my opinion as fact. It's just an opinion. Mm-hmm. Everybody's welcome to their opinion on the show, but if you have such a strong opinion, follow it with fact and resource. I am also the founder of a nonprofit organization, Princes of Power and Training to Rule as Kings, Princes of Power, Inc. for short. I started that last year after I lost my job during the pandemic. I lost my job in January, and my birthday is in March. And I kind of had a revelation. I was turning 40, and the Holy Spirit said, if something happened to you today, what do you have to leave your kids?
Oh, wow. Very powerful.
Like nothing. Like, people don't get it twisted. I talk to God just like I talk to any of my friends because, but whatever. So that really made me think. And I looked into, I started doing research, and I looked into LegalZoom. If anybody trying to start a nonprofit, LegalZoom.com, you can go in there and they give you all the information for trademarks, nonprofits, LLCs, all of that. So I went and I did my research and I saved my coin. I wasn't working. I had to reapply for food stamps in cash. So I was getting $200 in the beginning of the month and at the end, so $400 a month. I have 2 children. I have a 3-bedroom house, and they was giving me $400 a month. But I scratched and I saved, and LegalZoom allowed me to do a payment plan on my nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
Like, I just laid away my nonprofit. And Black people love some layaway. So it was really, really simple. I saved up and I paid for that. And then in doing that, I also opened up an online candy store called Millennium Candy and Gifts for my children as well. Because, like I said, in that, I had to realize I can't leave my child or children a 9 to 5. Can't do it. They can't go to the job. I'm a home health aide. They can't go to my job like, hey, y'all got any clients? My mom did. Like, no, you know what I mean? They can't do that. So as Black women, we have to learn how to leave legacies, not 9 to 5s. That's a t-shirt. Also with that, I started the live podcast, Philly Unfiltered, with my co-host, Eric Knight, Doc E, for short. And like I said, we just tell the stories that nobody else will tell in a positive manner. All they see with Philly is negativity. And I wanted to glorify us in another way. Like, the people that they don't know, we're doing positive things. Like Akimba, I called him the other day. I was like, yo, they got a whole Uhuru furniture store, like down in Philly. He was like, yeah, that's mine. That's ours. I was like, oh, all right.
I said that's ours. I said, yeah, Conrad, that's ours.
You know what I mean? And I'm 41 years old. I've lived in Philly all my life. My aunt lives on Brown Street, right, like a block away from where that's at. and I didn't even know. So that's why we're here. I'm a mother of two. Almost married, not married yet. 40 plus one. Very outspoken. I don't want to. I could go all day, Empress. So I'm gonna just kind of pull some stuff out, and I'm gonna go off.
So
But
segue.
I like to do segue in, so let's keep it there. We can go. I got some stuff to say, and that's just me.
So just to start it slow, because we have Whisper and Win, we have Offset that's gonna jump into this conversation. A powerful Offset, Shakur, we have Feist, we have Ikemba, even though they claim they want to take a backseat, but they can talk. They don't want to overpower us. It's about the women tonight and always. But we have powerful comrades on the line. But just quickly, tell us why you started Philly Unfiltered and the importance of having our voices in the media.
Honestly, the reason why I started Philly Unfiltered is because I like to vent a lot. When something I don't like, I will voice my opinion, and my friends would tell me to take the sting out of it. Because I'm a crier, and when I get upset, I cry. So with my spirit being what it is, I can't always have my emotions out in the forefront like that. And also too, I noticed there are a lot of men doing podcasts and writing books, and we can talk about a most recent person that wants to write books and tell women how we should act, but y'all don't know how to act. So that's why I started Philly Unfiltered. So not to male bash or woman bash, but for people to take an outside look of everything. Step outside of your community, take a step outside of your neighborhood, just step back and look at what's happening. And let's address it. Let's address the unrest, period. Like, it's so much happening. And as Black women, we are the least protected, but we are the most overprotected. We ride for anybody. It could be a stranger, you know what I mean? And something happening in our bird's eye view. Black women, we're gonna go off. We're gonna ride for anybody. And it's just a time for our voices to be heard. We got a lot to say, and we're not always the angry Black woman. I also have a page called I'm Not an Angry Black Woman, and I'm going to change it because I'm not an angry Black woman. I'm a Black woman that's healing. You know what I mean? So my anger, it may come off as anger, but I'm healing. I'm hurt. You know what I mean? I've grew up in trauma. We've all been raised in trauma. So let me heal and stop judging me. So that's why I started.
Can I ask a question to the guests? And,
of course.
But this is really, I think, like, any of the women can answer this. But this idea of Black women being angry, right? So I'm wondering, because going even to the title of this particular Uhuru mindset, we're talking about decontrolling images. And so one of the controlling images, I think, is like the Black woman just being this angry woman. And so do y'all feel like, starting with the guests, do you feel caged or like restrained because if you act a certain way, you may be perceived as an angry Black woman, if you are aggressive? So do you kind of like tone it down because of that?
You turn me down. I'm not. Yeah, I do. I can say that I do. Sometimes I did feel, caged, like, because I never want anybody to think that I'm angry. Yes, I get angry. Yes, I'm emotional, but that's not my everyday thing. I'm passionate about what I talk about. And people take that passion and they apply anger. But this is the thing. I'm also human. So my reaction is to an action. So why am I the angry one? And it's always, I don't know why. Maybe it's the faces that we make. Maybe we do a lot with our eyes, so they'll think that we automatically angry. But that's not the thing. And I'm not the type to bite my tongue. I'm very respectful. I say what I say, and I mean what I mean. And I don't like to feel caged. You can't control my words. If my words ain't harming you, you can't control my words. I'm not angry. Maybe I touched a nerve and the shoe fit, so wear it. That don't make me angry.
Set and Whisper could answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had trouble with my mic. Well, I was just trying to see where I'm going to go with this. But I would say this. in terms of being viewed as angry, I'm not really too concerned about that because when you're nice, people try to run all over you, like a steamroller. So I've actually had to show the opposite. You know, I'll have a cute little smile on my face, but when you cross me or you get me to that point, because when like people violate, and especially I find that men like to violate, so just like today I had to handle something, but you have to like find the right measure, because if you go all the way if you go too far out, and even if a man touches you or puts their hands on you, no matter what the situation, and you respond a certain way, you're viewed as the angry person or the angry individual in the situation, or too aggressive. When the truth of the matter is, what the hell are you doing touching a woman? How do you violate these lines and society's okay with this? But I understand that because of our image being over sexualized and also aggressive. Oh, well, she probably deserved it because she probably did something, because you know how they are. Or just the fact that, oh, well, they probably don't have a husband or a man or whatever, and they have children or whatever. So you're already being belittled or looked down upon. So it's okay to traumatize that person, because especially where I'm coming from, if you live in this city, look how we just treat people in general. So if you could walk over homeless and starving, hurt people on the street, then what are you going to do to a woman or somebody else that you see as what first as competition, and then because you're in the society and everybody has this place and there's this caste system going on, but then on top of that, it's just like you're also competition in the world, and so now if I have to get ahead in some way, shape, or form, I'm not going to care about you. So I'm going to use these stereotypes to get over,
So Whisper, what I hear you essentially saying is that you don't really concern yourself with the media or society seeing you as angry. You act accordingly to the situation because it depends on the situation.
Well, I find that if you're too damn nice, that's a problem. So no matter what you do, you're damned.
Okay, because I was gonna say that it's both. I'm sorry to like bear with me. It's both, because I don't think we should care what the European media, thinks about us. We're trying to build what we're building over here. I don't think we should care about the stereotypes. But then on the other hand, we live in this world. We live in this society. And if I'm at my workplace and I'm deemed as a complicated, angry, outspoken, always have something to say woman, then that can take food off my table and money out of my bank account, because they'll label you and they'll whiteball you and say, she's not agreeable, or she's too angry, so we can't put her in a higher position as like project manager, deputy director, whatever. So because we're in a colonial society, that's taking money out of my bank account. So you try to be more agreeable, you try to be more feminine, feminine, and you try to put us, like you said, Whisper, put a smile on your face or whatever. But I will say, I hang around a plethora of different queens, and we have to start holding ourselves accountable, because sometimes we are too angry. We react and we're very, very harsh, and we respond without hearing what the person actually said. And I know it's Women's Month, but I need to be honest and put this into the space. We need to be, as a divine feminine, we need to hold ourselves accountable. When we are over talking, not analyzing and comprehending what is being said, we are being angry. Like if someone is trying to help you and correct you and tell you to do something, and then we fight back with, well, it's because of this, or I did it because of this, or I did it because when I was 4, this happened, so this is how I am. But if a man, and the only man I care about is a black man, if a black man came with all his crap and said, well, this is how I am, deal with it, we're not having that. So we need to hold ourselves accountable. And half the times we are being angry, and half the times we are expressing ourselves and venting, like Andrea said. So that's what I'll add to the space. Whisper, I think you may be talking, but you're on mute.
If I can ask Andrea, like the guests that you have on your show, what kind of conversations do you have? I'm acting like I don't watch, right? But if you could talk about those conversations that the guests that come on and what you talk about, particularly the women, like what are some of those conversations like?
Before I start, Queen Shakur, did you have something to say? I thought you was about to unmute yourself. I ain't want to go on to the next thing.
Thank you. I did want to say something in response to
You're really low.
the last. Can you hear me now?
Is it just me or you're kind of low on my end?
You are a little
I
low.
can hear you though, but you could try to speak up a little bit.
Okay, so can you guys hear me okay now? That's better?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so in response to the angry black woman question or comment, I think I really agree with what both of the queens said, but I really think that that's a discussion that stems from, our inability to just speak in general. Like we really have muzzles on our mouths, and so like we weren't able to speak, period. But I also think that we have to also keep in mind that that is being viewed from the lens of someone who doesn't view us as human in many cases. Like we also weren't viewed as human. And so we have to create spaces and create narratives that allow Black women to release and respond and react to the realities that we're facing, because we are facing things that will make us angry, that will make us upset, which is a normal response. And so we're also dealing with people who told us that we're crazy if we thought that if we tried to escape slavery. So their view and their lens is very different from ours, and I think that when we talk about that, we kind of like have to make sure that we are again creating those spaces where we can say that yes, sis, it's okay to be angry and release that, but make sure that you have the understanding of what is causing that anger, and then try to develop ways that as a community we can grow beyond that image. So yeah, thank you, sis, for giving me that opportunity. Thank you. I hope you can hear me. I know I got low. I hope y'all could. I hope y'all can.
Okay,
It sounds much louder.
You're fine. But yeah, to kind of before I answered that question, also like to kind of piggyback off of what everybody was saying, and I had put it in the comments. I've never felt myself to compete with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm Andrea. You know what I mean? Like I've never been jealous of another woman. I've never been in competition with anyone because your strengths are not my strengths. Your weaknesses are not mine. So I don't even see it as a competition. It's not petty. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm not even jealous of Beyonce. Like I'm not jealous of anybody. I don't envy anyone. Like I just want people to be great. Let's be Black and let's win. You know what I mean? But and that kind of segue into answer your question, and some of the type of women that I have on the show. These are women that you probably wouldn't know about. These regular women. I don't need no politicians on my show to tell me that my Blackness is right. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a politician on my show to tell me about their healing or their trauma. I don't care. Don't care. I want to talk to my sister that lives next door to me. I want to talk to the queen that's in North Philly down Erie Avenue that's going through something. You know what I mean? So the women that I have on the show, they're regular women, but they're doctors. Like Dr. Holly, she's a mental health specialist. You know what I mean? Like Stacy, she's actually on the show. She has a podcast called The Art of Conversation, which is a must. People don't even know the art of conversation, and that there is an art to having a conversation. Like Queen Shakur said, you have to listen, or Empress Lotwire, you have to stop cutting people off. Like if it's a conversation, how do you answer my question if I never finished it? You know what I mean? Like you ever ask something, you be about to ask somebody something, they be like, no, cuz you, but wait, I didn't finish the question. You know what I mean? So, and that's another, those are the type of women that I know are not drama filled. Yeah, we go through drama, but we're not drama filled. And we're not angry women. And I still don't think we are angry Black women. I've been angry, okay, but when they apply it, I don't think that's when we're angry. If we're having a bad day, if somebody on my nerves, then you on my damn nerves. I'm not angry, you just on my nerves.
I think it's like a cultural thing, because I don't know if Black men view Black women as, but maybe I'm just speaking personally, but I feel like white women are angry. Like I look at
all the Karens out there.
I'm like, white those are angry, and I think because we're able to relate to you
Right.
Black women better, you know. White men, I mean, they the ones who really, you know, promote that idea of the angry Black woman, and we kind of feed into it, though, I would admit. But I look at their women, I ain't gonna say too much, but
I love that you brought that up. Yeah, it's all about perception. Because imagine before the Karen era, what a lot of people saw, you know, and there wasn't much context, but they did see Black women yelling and being angry, or hitting their children, or yelling on a train, or cursing at their children. We have to, you know, be honest that these women do exist, and the way they're acting, do they have a great reason, and rightfully so, how they grew up to act this way? Yes. Do they need healing and therapy? Absolutely. But imagine seeing that on your side of the world. You're gonna say, oh, black women are angry, because you see Black women and you see anger. So your conclusion is going to be Black women are angry. But like Prez said, like Akimba just said, like, yo, I'm seeing all these white women online. Y'all look angry. Like, to his point, that's a fact. Like, all I see is angry white women in bagel shops cursing out people, calling them racial slurs. It's like, y'all are hella angry. Y'all real jealous. Y'all real angry. Y'all real bothered, and y'all real pressed. So that was a great point.
But even I think with Black women,
shout out to Karen Stout in the comments. Sorry.
And I think that's when we angry. I think that's anger. I think that's when you can apply anger to Black women. But if we're venting, we're not so much angry, because we're so used to, and I do believe it is a cultural thing, because we can be snappy, but it's because we have been born into trauma. We are dealing with different types of things in our own mind, in our own house. We are anger. I'm going through shit like.
Yeah. And Andrea, not to cut you off, Queen, but this is a powerful conversation. We're definitely going to continue it, but it's time now for Uhuru Mindset announcements. Uhuru family, make sure that you mark your calendars and make yourself available for April 24th. We have the One Africa, One Nation Marketplace. It will be taking place from 12 to 5 p.m. Again, that's the One Africa, One Nation Marketplace, April 24th. That is a Saturday, family. Please mark your calendars, mark your Google calendars, your physical calendars, your iPhone calendars, because it is going down April 24th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. One Africa, One Nation Marketplace. It will be digital, so no excuses. You can join straight from your phone. It's the Health Marketplace. Please make yourself available for that. Uhuru, another thing, our beautiful president, Kalambai Antoinette, she is running for office. You need to support this amazing and powerful force in the community. She's running for office in St. Louis. Her interests are with the African working class. She is running for 3rd Ward Alderperson. So please go to votekalumbai.org. Again, please vote kalumbai.org. That link will be in the description box and within the comments. Moving right along, please make sure you subscribe to the Burning Spear newspaper, burningspearmarketplace.com. Again, that is burningspearmarketplace.com. Please subscribe to the Burning Spear newspaper for your revolutionary news. Moving right along, make sure that you mark your calendars for the Africans Charged Genocide Town Hall meeting. You heard me. We are having an Africans Charged Genocide Town Hall meeting May 1st. Well, the date is tentative, but make sure that you keep yourself make sure you keep yourself informed and follow the Uhuru Mindset page on Instagram. We are having an African Charged Genocide Town Hall meeting in Brooklyn, New York. The discussion topic will be gentrification is genocide. Genocide is a deliberate and systematic extermination through murder and terror of a national group by the forces of the white power's parasitic capitalism. Next, I challenge everyone to go to mpdum.org and grab yourself a membership today in honor of Women's Month. Grab yourself a Ella Baker, Harriet Tubman, etc., etc. Please go to npdum.org. That link will be in the description box and the comment section. And absolutely last but not least, well, actually, let's not rush past that mpdum.org to grab a membership. Let me explain why you should grab a membership. We were founded in 1991 by the African People's Socialist Party, and we are the leading organization in the struggle for bread, peace, and Black power in the 21st century. We are revolutionaries, we are community organizers, and we defend the international democratic rights of all colonized African communities. That is important. So make sure you go to mpdum.org for more information and to grab your membership today. That's very important. And last but absolutely not least, if you would like to donate to MPDUM, the New York City branch, please PayPal us at nyc.mpdom@gmail.com. That link will also be in the comments in the description box. Again, that's PayPal, nyc.mpdom@gmail.com. And we also have Cash App, the best app in the world. We just upgraded to Cash App. That is NPDom NYC. Send the Cash App. Send your Cash App to NPDom NYC. And that will also be in the comments and in the description box. Uhuru.
Hey, Uhuru, I appreciate those announcements. The Cash App being the best app in the world, I understand why you said it though, but
Yeah, another app that's the best app in the world. send the Cash App.
No doubt.
Can I say something? I also wanted to. It was a few other people to finish answering your question. With the women that I had on the show, these are some really strong women. Like outside of authors, another young lady that's actually in here. She wrote a book, a Black author that has experienced colorism. She's experienced racism, and this is all in her own community, in her neighborhood. You know what I mean? She's experienced rape, molestation. She gave that story. She told that story on my show. All I need is one person to hear that and know that it's okay to share your story. You know, we have regular entrepreneurs, mom entrepreneurs, just regular people on our show. That's what Philly Unfiltered is about. Like, we make regular people famous, as the kid would say.
That made me famous. I'm,
You did not. You was already thorough.
Nah, after he was on Philly Unfiltered,
I
started rolling in.
Yo,
I'm gonna position myself as manager and start taking 10%.
That's real. Hey, like when you hit me up, I came on there, did an interview. Next thing you know, like every other day, people would hit me up like, "Can you come on? Can you come on?" I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "All right, anything for the people."
Yeah,
but
I did our job.
Hey, another thing though, like there's these conversations that you women have, right? And I particularly enjoyed the conversations between you and the women guests, and just in general. I've been on a few platforms where I'm listening to African women, Black women talk about their experiences, and it's really been eye-opening for me. I'm gonna be quite honest, like I'm conscious of what Black women go through, but to like really sit there and hear all of the different stories, you get to see like how much of it, like a lot of these problems are really epidemic. It's just systemic in a sense where it seems like even the system is exacerbating like all of these different issues. Like it seems as though it's inherent. I think it is too. When we think about this the economic system, a lot of the problems that we do have stems from economics and people having a particular amount of power over other people. And so, that power that they have, the finances, if a lot of women find themselves in a position where, they have to be dependent on someone else for finances, and they get themselves into some very serious situations and circumstances as a result of that. But I don't know if you can speak to just like some of these issues that Black women go through, just in general. I know we had conversations about trafficking, sex trafficking, things like that.
I can only speak for myself. And that's the thing about Black women. We speak for ourselves, but it's like we speak for so many other women. Also, a shameless plug. I'm about to start an organization called VOWEL, VOWEL, Voices of Women Everywhere Listening. We will voices of women everywhere listening. The ones that do not have the voice or feel they don't have the voice to speak up on anything. It could be the smallest thing. It could be your kids getting on your nerves. We will speak for you in that manner. So y'all look out for that. I've been working on that for years, and the Holy Spirit ain't let me release it yet. And I'm just telling people, because they tell you don't always give your pearls to swine. We got to stop giving our ideas to other people. And as Black women, we do that because we do it in a sharing manner. You know what I mean? But we always got people trying to take us down or whatever. But for me, I can only speak for me. My strength is in my story, because when y'all see me, y'all see this. I'm laughing, I'm happy, I'm Philly, I'm filtered, I'm lively. But my story is, I have been raped by a boyfriend. You know, because he thought that I was talking to another dude who ended up being my son's father years after. But because of your insecurities, you decided you wanted to take something from me. You wanted to sodomize me. Let's get specific. With Vaseline intensive care lotion and yellow bottle. And then asked me after you were done, you got up and said, what you going to do, press charges? And then to call my father and have my father tell me he will be done with me if I don't come home. Not, baby, are you okay? Because you were just raped. But I'm about to be done with you because I told you this, you ain't grown enough to be out here. I'm 23 with no children. But that's my story. But somebody listen like, damn, that happened to me too. My strength is in my story. Because if it wasn't, I would be, you know what I mean? I've dealt with the domestic violence with my son's father for 9 years, 6 years before I even had my son. And then 3 extra years, and even now to him thinking he can still run up. No, dealing with my generational curse of my family, me not being as good as I can be from my sister, all that other nonsense. Those are the things that Black women have to go through, and we get beat down from the inside. So we go outside and look for the things that we're missing, and people prey on that. But that's not what we need. So now we become angry. Y'all think that we're angry. When niggas ain't shit, ain't this, ain't that. No, we're just tired of the cycle. It's a cycle. So, like I said, I can only speak for Andrea. My strength lies in my story. My strength lies in these businesses I started. My strength lies in my children. And my strength lies in my words.
Ooh. Can I respond to that? That was very powerful.
I be so nervous.
First, I want to say, just hearing you speak touches so many chords for me. And what I think is that what came to me was, one, we are so traumatized that it's become normal. Like the average situation is like exactly what you mentioned. Is so many stories, that we share so many times. I mean, I can tell you so many things, but we'll be here all night. But I'm not going there. But one, I can relate on so many levels, and I feel like because of that right there, we wear that anger that is said to be about us is just all those things, everything that you said, it wears on you. So it's almost like a coat or a cloud or something over you, so that every time when you go outside, it's not even anything that you have to say or portray anything, because it's already there. Until you lift those inner burdens, it is what it is. It's there. So it's something that, once again, Empress Livewire touched on it. Sometimes you have the people, certain girls or younger women come out. I live in Brooklyn, so I know what she's talking about. But at the same token, it goes back to that, because those same little girls are those 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-olds that are raped in the hallway, or in the next building, where they're, no comment, I don't want to be too graphic, but it's like, is no shortage. So it's like, I totally relate to everything that you're saying. And just another thing in terms of men, not like our own men looking at us as angry. I think, Akimba, it also has to do with generationally. So like the elder, I notice a difference between the elder men and the way, the 70s, 80s, certain, upbringing, as opposed to now. So it's like the older friends or people that I know that are like in their 40s and 50s now, they used to take care of women. And I mean, in certain places, you like somebody who I call my brother, who's a martial artist, he tells me all the time how you can't come on this block, on my neighborhood, and something happens, we're gonna come after you. You're not beating up any woman, nothing, none of that stuff is happening, especially on the outside. But nowadays, it's the opposite. I've seen so much in social media and in this image of angry black chicks, or this thing about, oh, let me go to an interracial person or woman because I don't want no ghetto girls or whatever. And then on the flip side, culturally, you have certain girls who don't fit that exact image, and it's the opposite. You expect me to lay all over and be down because I don't think I'm too identified as being black until I open my mouth and change on you. Because most of the time, I have a certain aura, but if you mess with me, I will turn Brooklyn on you and you'll find yourself in a chokehold real quick. I'm into UFC. Don't play with me. So it's like finding that kind of balance. I think that's what it is for us. It's really hard to find that balance because we're not healed yet. So yes, that was lovely, and I totally unite with everything that you said. And thank you for sharing. I am deeply touched by
Jasmine said no,
story.
not the chokehold. I have a follow-up question for the guests.
I've done this.
So I unite with Whisper. That was beautiful, transparent, and very necessary. There are a lot of women that we go through so much and we haven't said out loud certain things that's happening because we don't want to face it. So yeah, that was deep and really powerful. So as you're speaking, I'm like thinking about everything I went through as a child, and it's like you don't want to normalize it, but you say, oh, it already happened already, so I'm gonna just move forward and not go there. And like whatever happened or whatever, I forgave. It wasn't like drastic. I forgave the family member. I saw that he was struggling with obviously he's a black male, older, a lot of pressure from society, struggling with alcohol and drug abuse. And I'm always coming, and this may be naive, I always come from the mindset of that person is sick, so what they did, they didn't mean to harm me. That's just how they cope with what they were feeling. So the question is, what are your suggestions to women of all ages, young women, women my age, our age, everything? Like, what is your suggestion that we don't continue to carry these burdens because they're really heavy? And it's like, yes, it helps us to find our purpose and walk in a purpose, because we're like, all right, I was, for example, raped in the past, and we become, people in the community that help young girls and save young girls from that situation. So that's great, right? That we can turn it around and tell our story. But how can we, what are some tips that we cannot carry it anymore? Like it's just too much, and then we become the story and you want to hold on to it. But what Whisper was saying, we're not healed, but how can we be healed if we keep carrying the trauma with us? How do we leave the trauma behind?
Actually, it's a couple things, and it's something that we do talk about on the show, and I talk about with my friends. We have black people go to God for everything. Everything. Lord, if you get me out of this one, I'm coming to church on Sunday. Lord, I need some money to pay these bills. Lord this and Lord that. We need a counterpart to Jesus. That's when we have to reach out to somebody else that's going to listen. Black people scared of therapy. I'm 41. I come from a time of don't be telling nobody else my business. What happens in this house stays in this house. Black people ain't laying on nobody's. Why would I pay somebody to lay on their couch and tell them my business? That's what my mom used to say.
Insurance.
That's what we live. The thing is, if we don't talk about it, then we're keeping it in. And now we're still doing the generational curse because my parents do what I say, not as I do. That means you're not telling me what's going on. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it. Don't worry about the bird and don't worry if the house on fire. Just get the hell out. Our grandparents did the same thing to them. And before, it's a cycle. So when it gets to us and we know that it's like a catch-22, because if you don't know that you've been born into trauma, you don't know how to treat it. With me at 41, just learning my purpose at 41 because I didn't have the support from my family. Knowing that I knew God was still being disobedient and trying to walk in His word because I had free will to do what I wanted, so I played around with it. But now I'm 41 with the whole entire gift. I'm God's prophet. So now it's like, what if I would have done this when I was younger? Would I have not had to go through the trauma? So it's 22. It's like If you are who you are right now, be accountable for what happened. Acknowledge that we were born into trauma and stop the cycle. Stop it right now. We don't live in the do as I say, not as I do, because our children have too much access to what we do now. I couldn't go online and see, my mom doing a TikTok and twerking. Was my mom twerking? Probably. Like, people tend to forget the stuff that I grew up on Uncle Luke. People, if y'all don't know who Luke is, look him up, and y'all will not be complaining about Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and some whack. Trust me, you won't. Look up Akinelli. Y'all won't be complaining. Like, we so judgmental, but we have to fix ourselves. So as a woman, you have to acknowledge that there is a trauma within you. Stop trying to fix your girlfriend's trauma. Look within yourself and know that you have one. Be accountable for you. Once you're accountable for you, then you have to figure out what to work on. This is a process. And then you plant the seed to the next person. This is not an overnight fix. This ain't a quick fix. This not no drug. Trauma ain't no drug. It's not a quick fix for it. So for me, I would say just acknowledge that you have a trauma. Period. Stop claiming bipolar. Stop saying you got ADHD. You got insomnia. Well, not insomnia, but people like anxiety. Stop claiming those things and admit that you have a trauma.
And Doc,
Go
ahead.
So I say appreciate that. Before we wrap up, can you talk about what you had? What can we expect from you in the future?
Well, I'm very sporadic. Well, we are Philly Unfiltered. We're actually taking the rest of March off. We were at the march today at City Hall to support Jamal Johnson. That's another thing we talk about support. If you're not a protester or revolutionary, just share a post, share a flyer. That's support. It ain't always about monetary. So next month, in case people didn't know, I just wanted to share this. April is Black Women's Month. Y'all can Google this because I had to Google it myself. When I looked up Women's Month, they had pictures of all white women holding American flags. March Women's Month is the history that white people have taught us since the beginning of time. That's their history, and they sprinkle us in there. But when you type in Black Women's Month, it's April. So I'm going with April, and I'm going to just glorify a lot of Black women doing what they're doing. Our voices will be heard because this is a sidebar. I'm gonna come back with it because I got a lot to say.
We Brody merch too, though. Like we took merch too.
I don't. And the thing about it, I'm so outside of the box. We've been taught about all of the things that the white man has done for us forever. I want to know what we're doing now. What's next? Like, really, let's really do something next. Like, really, because it's the same teachings. Let us start teaching our own kids. Let's give them the right history, not their American history, our American history. It's more than a month. It's more than a month for Black History or Women's Month. Black women make up the whole American history because we fed y'all children. Y'all raped us. We the reason why y'all sprinkled in different colors. That's a different story. Anyway, Philly Unfiltered. I'll be going on. I dropped my keyboard. I'm sorry. We are actually putting together a Speak Up and Speak Out rally, if you will. I've been talking to Akimba about it. Anybody that's on that wants to join. Like I said, we don't need politicians to tell us what we're doing. We went to talk to Mayor. They went to speak to Mayor Kinney today. I don't want to talk to Mayor Kinney. I want to talk to the people that it's affecting. We want to talk to the people that it's affecting, our community, our Black moms, our Black boys and girls. So we're going to do a rally down Erie Avenue. Speak up, speak out. We're going to have a couple speakers. We're going to give out food. Unincarcerated minds. I spoke to them. They said they're going to be giving out free food. We have a DJ already. I'm going to see if somebody, I don't know about cooking, maybe some care packages, some raffles, just trying to make a good day of it. And, just talk to the people, have the community, come and speak their minds, just to let us know what we could do without these city officials, because they ain't know nothing anyway.
What day and time is that?
And that's it. Oh, what
I
time?
said, what day and time?
We haven't picked a day because somebody can't come on Saturday because they have a whole movement.
Possibly can't.
So it probably or the Friday. So probably the 9th, the 16th or the 9th. We're trying to do this as soon as possible because it's getting warm and those numbers going to keep rising. So that's pretty much it. Oh, and Millennium Candy and Gifts, we're doing Easter baskets, personalized Easter baskets for your children. So it's candy and gifts, not just candy. We actually put gifts in there for your kids as well. Millennium Candy and Gifts on Facebook.
Huru. All right. Appreciate you coming on. Feist was ready to go, so we're going to segue right into Feist.
Uhuru. So again, really glad everybody's been able to tune into this episode of Uhuru Mindset. We say Uhuru because Uhuru means freedom. It's also welcoming and a greeting that we use amongst our comrades. We believe that freedom should be on the minds of our people 24/7. I want to salute Chairman Omali Yeshitela, leader of the African People's Socialist Party, African Socialist International, and founder of the Uhuru Movement. I want to salute our leadership, International President Columbayi Antoinette. Like we heard before in this taping that in the show, that she's running for a political office in St. Louis, Missouri right now as we speak. I want to thank our guest, Andrea Harrison, for joining us. And I want to salute comrades Whisper, comrades Offset, Ikemba, and Empress Livewire. Uhuru Jasmine, I see you out there too. I just want to recognize everybody really quickly because we had I think a very powerful show. And anytime I think about the images of Black women, I think about media. But one that stuck with me the most in terms of let's say the colonizer. This is white people, but I'm gonna say the colonizer utilizes the images of African women. What's the purpose of doing that? Some people say it's to dehumanize African women so that way you can control them and do anything you want to them. But I'm reminded of this doctor by the name of J. Marion Sims, who operated on African women, also African children as well. He's known as the father of gynecology. I was fortunate enough and able to do like a little speaking engagement at Columbia University with our organization, a sister organization, the Black is Back Coalition for Social Justice, Peace, and Reparations. And it was a great panel discussion, and people talked about, these advancements that have been made in science and these doctors and how they were able to progress and how it actually helped the whole entire world. And the imagery of African women is very important. I know in this particular show we talked about trauma, and you see that the thing that I think everyone needs to understand is that we are colonized. We talk about trauma, we talk about pain. When we talk about colonialism, that's when a foreign and alien entity dominates one group of people. Dominates it so much so that it controls the economics of those people, the politics of those people, the healthcare of those people, and the rest of it. How these people view themselves. That's a colonial mindset that's given to the colonized people. So in order for the colonizers to exploit them economically and exploit them politically, and life in itself, to be able to produce life for ourselves. When we think about African women, they produce some life for our nation, and I'll take this moment real quick in terms of, African women birthed in the African nation. One thing we have to realize, we're part of a dispersed nation. We've been given a view of the world that's not ours as a colonizer. So we talk about here in America as being Black people in America. And we might call ourselves African Americans or some kind of, Caribbean American, Jamaican, all these other different hyphenations of Black people. But if we're going to change the colonial mindset, we have to have a collective approach to how we solve the problem. We have to have a Uhuru mindset where we're talking about true freedom, but not just being able to purchase something or leave something for our children or leave a business or leave a store, and we have stores in the movement, but we are clear that having a store isn't freedom. Having Uhuru pies and Uhuru furniture and all these other things are great, but what it actually does show is that economically, the economics and the politics are one and the same. And if we can control in our communities, we're controlling the economics. The question of African women being super women, doing childcare, and we have programs to that as well too, and doing all these things just to keep the family unit together, so we're moving in the same direction. And so, like, I'm listening to Comrade Andrea Harrison speak and the other sisters on this particular show, and I'm like, I am aware of African women who were leaders, who are not just leaders like inside the community, but led armies and defeated the colonizers. And Nzinga, Queen Nzinga comes to mind. And there's many others. I saw a shirt today that said in parentheses and a quotation, "We out," and then underneath it, it was from Harriet Tubman. And we know the strength of African women because we got African women leading in our organization. And we're saying that it's very important for African women to come back in political life and take roles as leadership, not just because it's Women's History Month or what have you, but a woman's place is in the revolution. I'm gonna say it again, a woman's place is in the revolution. And the revolution, a total change, is the only way we're gonna break all of these constructs and all these traumas that we experience every single day. We had one of our, guests talk about, we need to have our own Cash App. We need to have our own anything, comrades. We need to have our own everything. We need to have self-determination, where we decide what happens in our community. African women need to be in control of their own images and getting support from African men as well, And I want to, take this time too to even put myself on a particular trajectory in order to break from that colonial construct, to break from the colonial mindset, because I too am colonized, even if I'm in a revolutionary organization. And I want to apologize to my wife, Avani, at this moment. She knows what it's about. But being colonized people and being committed, being married in this day and age is something that a lot of women, want, and men too, because we talked about that earlier, even before the tape. We talk about relationships between African men and African women and how we fix that, and there's no fixing our individual problems if we don't fix our problems collectively. And that is a Uhuru mindset, comrades. Uhuru.
Wow.
Oh,
wow, very powerful fights.
That's how
Uhuru.
Uhuru, comrade. That's how we end. That's how we end our shows right there. And so, I appreciate everybody tuning in for another hour of Black Power. And until next time, stay in the Uhuru state of mind.
This is Uhuru Mindset. This is our program. And we appreciate everyone for tuning in and, joining this discussion. We're going to continue to have these discussions. We're going to continue to engage with the community and create Uhuru mindsets wherever you are. So continue to tune into our program. Uhuru.